So come with me as we explore Boston's role in the new nation and see the fabulous wealth that Bostonians are creating in the first years of the American Republic. Boston in the early 19th century is expanding as investors are building new houses and businesses and developing the city's infrastructure. Boston is developing commercially and politically and also intellectually as Boston becomes home to new ideas being generated here in the expanding city. In the first decade of the 19th century, Harrison Gray Otis and other investors are developing Beacon Hill as a luxury neighborhood, a new development here, building mansions like this one, many of them designed by Charles Bulfinch, who was one of the most accomplished architects in the early Republic. Bulfinch was also chairman of the Board of Selectmen in Boston, and he built the new State House, he expanded Faneuil Hall. Somehow he got other contracts to develop public buildings while he was chairman of the Board of Selectmen. They were developing a luxury neighborhood here, as Boston is also developing new forms of wealth. In the 1790s, a canal is dug between the Merrimack River and Boston, the Middlesex Canal, which is going to bring all of the goods from New Hampshire and the Merrimack River Valley into Boston and make sure the trade into that area goes by way of Boston. And between the north end and the west end, they fill in the mill pond, creating what's called the Bulfinch Triangle, an industrial area, again, designed by Bulfinch, to become the industrial and commercial center of Boston between the two residential neighborhoods, West End, North End. So we see Boston developing in this period with new businesses, new wealth, and new ideas about living and architecture. And in the 1820s, when Boston becomes a city, Mayor Josiah Quincy moves the prison and the workhouse from downtown Boston out to South Boston, which had been annexed in 1804 by the same group developing Beacon Hill. So we move those problems out to another part of the city, leaving downtown Boston as a commercial, economic, political center. So we see a lot of changes happening in Boston in this period, developing from the Boston of the colonial days into the Boston of the 19th century. On Bunker Hill Day of 1787, 20,000 people walked across a bridge from Boston to Charlestown. This is the Charles River Bridge. It was the furthest north anyone had built a bridge over tidal water in the world, an engineering feat. It allows produce to come into Boston to help feed this growing population. At this time, Boston is expanding again as we see the filling in of the town cove, the area near Long Wharf, as Boston is able to accommodate bigger ships in international trade. So we see the commercial development of Boston happening in this period, physical development developing the Charles River Bridge, the Middlesex Canal, and then filling in the town cove to expand Boston's capacity for international trade.